Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope all of you are enjoying us good and sound health. Okay, now once again here we are all for a new session of English poem, and the today's topic is Cold Within, written by an American poet James Patrick Kinney. This poem was written by James in 1960. He always fought for the welfare of the human. He believed that there should be no discriminations, there should be no any apartheid. So he fought for that. The poem Cold Within is a series also against the discrimination, against the apartheid. He, in this poem, wants to say that the people, the human, all the six human, the characters of this poem, it looks that they died with the cold. But in the poem, the poet indicates that all these all these six human died not because of the cold was outside, but they died of the cold they have within their heart. Yes, he want to say that all these humans, they died because of the hatred, of the feeling of the hatred. This is an unforgivable sin of the human heart. Everyone is feeling the hatred of for the other one, a rich for the poor, poor for the rich, blacks for the white, whites for the blacks. Even the religions, he is not from our church, he is not belonging to my church. So these are the hatred which people, a human, they are keeping in their heart. So now let us start this poem, The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. Six humans trapped by happenstance in a bleak and bitter cold, each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story told. As in the first line, saying that there were six humans. They all were trapped by some happenstance. Trapped means caught in a difficult situation, or you can say they were caught in an unescapable situation. From there, they cannot escape because it was a bleak and bitter cold. It was a bitter cold, a severe cold blows there, and it was dark also. Now it becoming the evening, so it is not possible. It was not possible at all to move further. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story told. As poet, he heard the story. He is saying that in the next morning when they saw that all things were died, they all were holding a stick in their hand. That means the story was saying that the six people, they died for the bitter cold, though they all were holding a stick in their hand. But poet now, he is feeling, no, they doesn't die with the cold. They are dying fire in needs of logs. The first man, held his back. For the faces round the fire, he noticed one was black. They were sitting around the fire log, and that fire was dying. The only way to give up against the fire was if everyone put their wooden logs in that fire so that they can get the warmth and they can survive. One of the first man of the sixth person, a sixth human, a first man, he was ready to give his wood log in the fire. But as soon as he saw the faces, he suddenly saw there was one black man, an African man. He said, "Oh, there is a black man. No, no, no. I am not going to give that log to him because I am a white and I am the superior. And I am going to help that black man. No, never. I will never save that black person." So he put back his log. Then the next man who was standing beside him, he thought, okay, if he is not giving, I will provide my log to in the fire. So he was to put his log on the fire. He saw suddenly a face of one man. He was having a cross. You know, Christians, they wear the cross as a locket. As soon as he saw that person, he was wearing a locket, and that locket was not belonging to his church. See, so though he was also a Christian and that person is also a Christian, they all were both were the follower of Jesus Christ, but he was not ready to give that person a life because he was not belonging to his church. So he said, "No, that person is not from my church. So how could I give that stick to him? He is not my religion, he is not in my religion. So why should I help that person who is not in my religion? He is not from my church. No, I am not going to save that person." All these six persons were surrounding near the fire. Now the third one sat in a tattered cloth, rags clothes, rough clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the ideal rich? What he has done, his dress coat, he was wearing a very rag dresses. It was not clean. It was dirty all over from there. He was wearing a coat and he just hitched it around his shoulders, and he said, a rich person is there. I am not going to give my logs to that rich person. This rich persons, for them only, my situation is like this. They always dominate the poor person. So, no, 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 I am not going to help this person. He is a rich person. He always dominates us. And for him only, I am living a life of a beggar. Nah, I am not going to help this person. Then the rich man, who was sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. Now see that rich person. He was sitting in the backside, and there also he was thinking about his amount, about his money, about his wealth. Where to keep that well? I am so rich. Oh, yes, you are rich. But if you live, then only you can use your wealth, na? You are dying, you will die. So, what is the use of that money? But no, by the proudness, he is saying, nah, what will I do with the amount wealth I have? Where to keep this wealth? Because I want to keep safe from this lazy, poor, shiftless. Poor means he always think that poors are very lazy. They are worthless, and I have to keep my wealth safe from these poor. Now came the black man. He was just watching everyone. Now the black man's face bespoke revenge. So that black man who was there, he now thought, this is the time I am getting to take the revenge. These white people always dominates us. They humiliate us. And now I got an opportunity to take a revenge from these white peoples. As the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. Now he thought it is the time that to take the revenge from these white people who hate us. Spite the white means hate. It is a chance to take a revenge from the white people who hate us. So he refused to give his log, his wood. Kanna, these are the white peoples, and I got a chance to take the revenge of all other he was only a black and other was a white. Though there was a beggar, there was a rich person, but everyone was white. He thought now it is the time to take the revenge, and he didn't throw his wood log in the fire. Now came the last man of this forlorn group. Forlorn means lonely. Lonely group means no one know this group. They all were strangers. They all were passing from there, but that area was not be allowing them to go further. So they all trapped there in one place. The last man of this forlorn group means the last man of this lonely group did not accept for gain. He did nothing where he can't see any gain. He always thinks that give and take policy. I am giving to this to one, so what I will receive. Every time he used to do that work where he found a gain for himself. He thought giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. He was thinking, so if I give my log to the fire, what they will give me in return? They are not going to give me any return. So why should I give my log to in the fire? Leave it. I am not going to help anyone. And everyone hold their logs tightly in their hand. Their logs held tight in death, still hands was proof of human sin. See, the proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. In the morning, when everyone saw that 6 people were died, all of them were holding a log tightly in their hand. It proves that how the humans are sinner, how they have sin in their heart, how they have the hatred in their heart. And the last 2 line poet saying that They didn't die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. In the last two stanza, poet want to say that everyone was saying that they died with the cold, the bitter cold, but I am saying that they didn't die with the cold that was in the out. They died because of the cold they have within their heart. They didn't die with the bitter cold. So here that I think you all of have understand that what the poet want to say regarding the humans. Yes, it is true that we all are living a life of hatred. A great discriminations is there. We never think that we are humans. Always fighting for the discrimination, always fighting for the untouchability, always fighting for the black and white and rich and poor. And this what poet says is killing the whole world like this. Everyone has a cold within their heart, inside their body, inside their soul. So I hope all of you have understand this poem. Read this poem very carefully, and I hope all of you will now start a life of without a cold inside your heart. Live happily, be happy, and all the best to all of you. See you in our next session. Till then, take care.